Hi, I thought I'd do a video. Actually, I just did one. It was about an hour and a half, but due to the limitations of uploading to YouTube, unless you got like over 1,000 subscribers or 100,000, whatever it is, you're limited. I think it's about 45 minutes. So I'm going to do a series of videos setting up RTS Engine 2023 from scratch, clean project, including mobile control setup and advanced building placement and save system and stuff like that. Um, Before I get started, I'm going to mention a couple of things. I am running this on a MacBook Pro M1, which is fine for what I need. I also do compile up for Windows, Linux, and Mac, Intel Macs, that is. And I do not have a Windows machine I can test on. So I have VM virtual machines in parallels of uh, Linux and Windows, Windows 7 actually. And my version of my game I'm creating actually works really well in those VMs. Um, you wouldn't know, you typically you wouldn't know that they're in a virtual machine. And my test device, mobile device, is an iPhone 13 Pro Max. Yeah, and I was silly enough to buy the one with the 1 terabyte hard drive, or storage, whatever you want to pronounce it. Anyway, I'm just going to mention this quickly. I've literally just done a video. It's about an hour and a half long. I didn't get into advanced building placement, but I found a few, not issues, but things you need to be aware of if you're doing URP. And I was hunting for fixes. I forgot to take notes while I was doing it. I had all the notes written down actually um, on a text file, but I deleted some folders off because I'm trying to make room on my MacBook. Um, anyway, that video I did it on the IDE version of 2022.3.f1 because it's on LTS and it's Apple Silicon. The reason why I was doing it on that, so I was setting up a clean default project so I could use it for trying to import agents navigation and set up. My first iteration of that was absolutely atrocious, so I ditched the whole project. So yeah, I've got to really get into that properly. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this on 2021.3.26 F1, and that's LTS version. Because there was an issue with saving files from the save module. It wouldn't save any games. There was no save data going anywhere. I actually looked into the library, which is where the special folders go to. To be fair, I haven't tested the save games for ages, so I really need to look into that one. But I got a feeling it might be the switch on the IDE version. I don't know. So we're going to try it on this one. So we're going to do it on that one, and we're going to do a URP 3D core project. Oh, I haven't got the template, look. So that's fine. And RTS Engine Clean 2023. So we know it's that one. Well, that's what I'm calling it anyway, this project. So I'm going to create that while it started. So I'm literally just going to run through a few things while I'm doing that. I will wait for that to start up. The modules. So all the modules on the website, if you haven't gone into the website and updated, sorry, I'm clicking the wrong link. You can download these, but you don't need to worry about the free ones. These are all built. So that one, the minimap, the basic UI, everything's by default is built into RTSE. However, sometimes there might be an update for, say, the NPC module and the minimap without updating the main game. If that's the case, then you can do that and download those. I by default actually download them every time there's an update. I download them, so I've got a hard copy of a previous one. So if I wanted to prove like that something went screwy in or I've screwed something up, I can at least revert back and try again. So I'm just going to maximize this up a bit. Well, it's not maximized. I shrunk it certain so I can keep certain things open on the edge. Right. Okay. So we've got our blank URP empty template. do not go straight in and install RTS Engine. All right, so let's go Package Manager. A few things people do is they do that, and then there's a ton of errors. There's not a ton of errors. I lied. Sorry, that's my bad. It's very late. It's midnight. No, it's 1:45 actually. So I'm going to go into my assets. I'm just going to have to load. Oh, come on. Change to all and load. First package you want to install, if you haven't got it, go and get it off of Unity Asset Store, is Polygonals Particle Pack. That one. It's created by Polygonal stuff. There's a couple of explosion and fire elements in the demo. So import that one to start with, and just import everything. And I'm gonna show you something before I actually get around to importing RTSE. So I'm just gonna move that window half off. So if you go into, let's go in one of these. Let's just open the demo. Actually, everything's pink. That's because it's URP and the materials are not designed or have not been designed for URP. Most assets would have a URP package to go along with them, so you'd import that one. In fact, there's no icons for URP. Hello, I've not actually been in there. I know standard rendering pipeline, but it says URP. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have one, but it has the URP stuff for that. Is there one in there? I've never actually been in this folder, to be fair. Nope. No, that's cool. All right, fine. Well, we don't need that anyway. Right. So let's import RTS Engine, and then we'll get set up on that one. So this is going to take a few seconds, obviously, so bear with me. If you haven't got to make yourself a cup of tea or coffee, I suggest you might want to go and do one really quickly. Fortunately for me, my coffee machine is behind me. I've got one. So if you hear me pausing or drinking, that's the reason why. It's not alcohol, which is a bit of a shame, really. But yeah, while you import this, I tend to default jump up and make another coffee while I'm doing it. I might speed this bit up on the videos. I don't know. God, that is taking a while, isn't it? Come on, baby. Work faster. So the main reason why I do the polygonal particles pack first is so I don't get prefab errors with some of the stuff that's in the demo. Remember, it is a demo. Okay, so we've got those there. That's fine. I'm going to move that over so I don't have to keep grabbing that when I want it. It'll go behind there anyway. Right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to drop those packages. We're going to go into RTS Engine. You're going to go demo, and then like everyone else, you're going to go straight into scenes, and then you're going to open it up. Right. And then you're going to want to play it. So remember, we're doing URP. So the whole project now has Text Mesh Pro, which is absolutely brilliant because it's so much easier. And so I'm going to import Text Mesh Pro Essentials, and I'm going to do the examples and extras. I think there's a couple of fonts in there. I'm not sure, but I just by default import everything anyway. Almost. Now, as you can see, the demo, we've got a completely pink screen. That's nice if you're into pink. And it's just to show that there's errors with those materials. And there's nothing wrong with being into pink either. I thought I just mentioned that. So what you need to do is you need to go to Window and Rendering, and then you've got to convert the materials. So you need your rendering pipeline converter, because remember, a lot of stuff is still built for standard or the built-in rendering pipeline. Actually, before I do that, if you're watching this and you're using the standard rendering pipeline, you're going to have these scripts that are missing. You've got one there, and you're going to have one on the cameras. Okay, it's down the bottom. Now, we're using standard rendering. We're using URP. If you're using this built-in pipeline, you want to keep those, and you want to go to the package manager, and you want to go to Unity registry, and you want to find the post-processing stack. That's this one, all right? And you install that one, and then those missing scripts, so that one and the one on the cameras, will not be missing anymore. Okay. If you're using URP, you can safely just go in there and remove it. All right. And that game object you can go and delete, but only do those if you're using URP. And as I mentioned, we're doing this as URP. So we do not want to install post-processing, but if you're using the built-in rendering pipeline, use post-processing. Okay. That's the lecture and that over and done with. Right, I'll leave that there. Okay, so back to these pink materials. So you go to Window, Rendering. I think it's the same on Windows and Linux IDE layouts. You go Rendering Pipeline Converter. You get this little pop-up window. You are not converting to a 2D unless you're running 2D, and God help you with that because I have no clue. We are going from built-in to URP. We're going to do material upgrade. I'm going to initialize converters, and then I'm going to convert the assets. There's 53 that don't get worked out. I have no idea, but that hasn't affected me at all. That's that. The rendering settings, I'm not going to do that one at the moment. You can do that if you want. I'm just going to leave it as is for now. Okay, so as you can see now, we've got everything in the demo. So before you go and hit the play button, you need to make sure your layers are more than that, because the layers are set to the IDE, not to the project. Although I think that's being addressed as like a pop-up script when you first import. Anyway, so configure demo layers. And there you go. So we've got all our layers, post-processing and stuff. Ignore that. Right. So I'm going to hit play. I'm going to have a couple of errors pop up. Possibly. No errors. But as you can see, or you probably hear, because I'm using the sounds coming out as well as in my AirPod as for microphone as well. You can see we can't see anything, but we can hear banging going on because they're working. And that's because we haven't set the cameras. And this is only if you're installing for URP. So your main camera needs to be on base, and you need to add the camera into the the camera stack there. So you go to the main camera UI, you need to change that from a base to an overlay, and then you go main camera and add that overlay camera in. Okay, that is it. There's probably a couple of other little things I can't remember, but that's basically it. And as you can see, we've got everything, and we can select him and doink, 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 doink. And once he's finished collecting, he'll run off and go and get that. Or you better do, or you get sacked. Oh no, he's building that up actually. Sorry, my bad. So once he's finished making that, he'll go and jump on and do those buildings. There you go. So we're running. Okay, have we got errors? Okay, we've got some information. That's fine. We do have errors, or warnings rather. We have no errors. Errors would be on this one. And I will go through these and pause this. Stop that. Game manager, the save input. Okay. I'll go into this quickly and we'll address this in a little bit. Actually, no, we'll deal with it now. So if you have the save game module, install it now. Okay. If you don't have the same game module, you can go and delete these issues. These issues are not really issues; they are there to help people set things up, and those scripts are missing there. So if you do not have the same save game module, or you're going to set up your own, or you don't want to get the save game module, just delete it. Delete that game object there, or remove those scripts. It's really that simple. Okay, I can't stress that enough. I don't know why people get really pissy about that one. Sorry, excuse my French. Game Audio Manager, there's no audio source, or it hasn't been assigned, so that is under Essential Audio, and that's this one for music. Okay, there is, or it never used to be an issue. I used to just set that to that same one. I think that's been sorted out as well. But easiest way is to go there, and what I do is I create a new empty object, and I call it game music source. Right, so I know it's the game music source, and then I add audio source. Okay, and then you go to audio. We'll come back to the save module in a minute. If you think I'm forgetting, I'm not. And then just drag that one to there. That'll take care of this one. So I'll play that quickly now. So just prove a point on that. Okay. Right. And as you can see, we've just got the reference to the save game scripts. Oh, hello. Right. That one, that missing script, I believe that's something to do with the post-processing as well. I don't worry about that because I don't use any of the demo stuff. If you are fed up with like these missing scripts, then don't convert it to URP. Just stick with standard rendering, but install the post-processing stack. Is it that simple? Yes, it is. Okay, so these are all to do with the save scripts, right? So as I said, I've got the save module. So we're going to click on project, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to import custom package. So I have all of them downloaded. So save module, save system, I'm going to open that, import it. I'm doing this in a certain, I'm doing this in a certain order, but not actually as a specific way of importing stuff. If that makes sense. It's just to deal with stuff as we see things. Okay. Still got this about these save game loaders, so I'm going to clear that, and I'll show you what those are. So if you click on save, we've now got the scripts. They're all populated, but we don't have a save input or save button. They are available. They are on the pause menu. Click on that, and all you got to do is do that, and save button. Okay, I'm going to save that. I'm going to hit play just to show you everything's working. Okay. Now we're down to 2 warnings. That's that obstacle script again, and I think that might be the same obstacle script. So why don't we adjust that? Just to, is that one there? I can't remember. It's been a while since I've done that one, but I'm going to remove that one. Okay, and then we're going to play. Brilliant. Okay, so one thing we're going to deal with now is, oh, that's fixed. Yes. So a material upgrade sorted this out. Now, when I do the mobile controls later, we'll have a different selection issue going on, and I'll show you how that gets fixed on that one. In fact, I might go straight into it now. Oh, unless, now that's interesting. Just bear with me a second. This is what happened on the last video, right? Just bear with me a second. The selection renderer. So this mesh here, if you go materials and then you click on that. So under core selection materials, you've got those. Now they're all updated and fine, right? When I do the mobile version, these won't work. You have to end up going in here and ticking the alpha channel. Right? We'll come back to that. I'll show you that. But I'll show that on a separate video to do with mobile controls. Okay, so let's go back to the main scene. The save module, we've imported the save module, so I'm going to work on that. I have /, oh, wrong bleeding thing. Close tab. Sorry, caught the wrong key. So I'm going to save there. Now, persistent data path, you do really want on for Mac and especially iOS. The reason for that is when the game's compiled on Mac, if you're not into Macs, you don't know anything about Macs, but you might be supporting Macs. A bit like on Windows, you have your game.exe. On a Mac, it's .app, but .app extension is hidden, so you just have the game name. Technically, the .app is almost like a zip folder, and inside that zip folder will be all the information needed to run the game and everything like that. You know, if you're comparing it to a Windows exe file, and I have done a lot of compiling up games and stuff back in the early 2000s on Windows and creating installers. Think of it like you know, on some games or on Windows, you've got your .dll files. All of those would be contained inside on a Mac version. They would be contained inside the .app. So unless you've got persistent data paths there, it will try to save the game folders on a Mac and especially iOS, because it will crash and it would hard crash out on iOS. It will try and save it inside that .app structure, folder structure. Hopefully I've explained that okay. So I sort of done a bit of research, and persistent data path is one of those issues. So that's fine. However, on the previous video I did, I mentioned at the start of this one, I did a video in the Unity version 2022 LTS. The saves was not working. So I'm just going to save that for a second. I'm going to see if this does this by default, and also I'm going to open that because don't double click. I'm just going to stick that there for a minute. I want to see if this actually does save the game, because it wouldn't load up earlier. It wouldn't save the game even though it said it was saved it. Then there was no errors. So what we're going to do, actually, I'm just going to drag one out. You can go and build something. You go and do that, right? Test, save, one. I tend to not like spaces in save names, to be honest. But it doesn't seem to make that much of a difference. Now that says that's saved. We're going to hunt it now, right? Did we get any errors? That's the major thing. No, we didn't. There's no errors, no warnings, and we've got our standard stuff. So typically, persistent data path. I'm just going to click on there. Will stick things into your library folder. So I'm going to give me a new Finder window really quickly. New Finder window. Go library. So application support. This will push this into default company. Oh, actually, there you go. There's our saves. Oh, that's all the saves from before. Ha! From the previous video. I just called that test save 1, didn't I? So saves are working. Brilliant. Going to hit resume. Main menu. Right. Now we've got 2 errors. The reason for that is it couldn't be loaded on that because it's not in the build settings. So I'll go into that as well in case you're really new to Unity. So for scenes to work between, like switching between, you need to have them in your build menus. So you need this open. I'm going to just move this over slightly. So you want to add the open scene. I'm going to remove that sample scene. So in terms of we've saved on that, yeah. I'm going to clear that lot. I'm going to go into the demo menu because I want that one added in. So I'm going to add the open scene to there. I'm just going to move that one down. I like it that way around. And the save games, so into modules, and we're going to add in the scene for the save games. We also need to edit that one as well, don't we? I'll show you that in a second. We'll go into that in a second. But let's just add that scene. Save game loader. So what did I change on the other one? I put // on that. And the persistent data path is on. So that's fine. I'm going to save that. And there's another one. I'm sure there's another one. I could be wrong. So bear with me. It's been a while since my project. I set it up to start with a while back, and I completely forgotten what I've done. I don't think there is actually. I think that's it. Pretty certain that's all you need to do on that one. Just as long as you make sure you got your save. Your JSON save input output loader is correct. So technically, if I play that, we should see that save from earlier. That's interesting. That's loaded up the one from before. Huh. Okay. It didn't load up the one we had from earlier though, did it? Oh, single player lobby. We haven't added that to the build scene. My bad. I was getting to that one. Add the single player lobby. Add open scene. Okay, we haven't got the multiplayer on there or anything like that, but if we hit play on this, we can now switch to save games, and we can go to single player. If you're wondering why some of this is like missing on the sides, it's because I'm in preview and it's not scaled properly. Probably a Mac thing, probably not. Obviously, if I click on that, then I get everything and should be able to load the game. And we can. That's fine. In terms of lighting and stuff like that, you can set that up yourself later. Okay, so I'm going to end this video now. I suppose this is part 1. This is almost half hour. So what have you done? What have you learned? You've set up your URP, got rid of some of the errors or some scripts, and we've got a default setup and a save game loader. Next one up will be multiplayer. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.